Hey hackers, I'm Kailash Parshad from HackProKP, and in this video we'll talk about HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, in our Cracking OSCP, your roadmap to ethical hacking success series. So without any further ado, let us start with the video. What is HTTPS? Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure is an extension of HTTP protocol, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This protocol was designed to provide a secure communication channel over the internet. It is widely used to ensure the confidentiality and the integrity of data exchange between a user web browser and a website. Encryption. Encryption in HTTPS protocol is handled by SSL or TLS protocols. HTTPS relies on SSL, that is Secure Socket Layer, or its successor TLS, that is Transport Layer Security, to encrypt data. These protocols ensure that the information exchanged between the user's browser and the server is secured. Now we'll talk about PublicKey Cryptography in encryption of HTTPS protocol. HTTPS protocol uses PublicKey Cryptography to secure communication. The server has two keys, that is a public key and a private key. The public key is used for encryption and the private key is kept secret and used for decryption. This asymmetric encryption ensures that even if someone intercepts the communication, they cannot easily decipher it without the private key. Now we will see an example for PublicKey Cryptography. Imagine this: Alice wants to send a message to Bob. So what key she is going to use? You're correct. She is going to use Bob's public key to encrypt the message, that is plain text, into ciphertext, and she is going to send that message to Bob. And afterwards, Bob is going to use his private key to unlock the message or to decipher the message from ciphertext to plain text, and he is going to read the message. Please remember this: public key is used for encryption and private key is used for decryption. You might think that can we use the private key to encrypt the message, and you're right, we can use the private key to encrypt the message, but you will need the public key that is associated with that private key to unlock that message. And as the public key is available with everybody, so everybody can unlock that message or decipher it and read the message. So the whole point of encryption is failed in this case. Now we will talk about public key in detail. Distribution. The public key is freely distributed and known by anyone who wants to communicate securely with the entity associated with that public key. Encryption. When someone wants to send a secure message to the owner of the public key, they will use it to encrypt the message and not the private key, as we have learned before. Authentication. Public key is also used for authentication. Decrypting a message with the private key associated with the public key confirms the origin from the corresponding entity. In this case, the private key will be used to encrypt the message and the public key will be used to decipher the message. Now we will talk about private key. Secrecy. The private key must be kept confidential and only known to the entity to which it belongs. It should never be shared with others. Decryption. The private key is used to decrypt messages that were encrypted with the corresponding public key. Only the entity possessing the private key can decrypt these messages. Digital signature. Private key are also used to create digital signatures. A digital signature is a cryptographic way of proving the origin and integrity of a message or a document. Now we'll talk about key-pair relationship. Mathematical relationship. The public and private keys in a key pair are mathematically related, but it is computationally infeasible to derive one key from the other. This relationship forms the basis of security provided by PublicKey cryptography. Key generation. When a user or a system generates a key pair, the public key and the private key are generated together in such a way that the information encrypted with one key can be decrypted with the other. Now we'll talk about the use cases. Secure communication. Public key cryptography is commonly used for secure communication over untrusted networks such as the internet. It ensures that only the intended recipient can decrypt or read the message. We have talked about this before as well. It can be used for digital signatures. Digital signatures verify the authenticity and integrity of a message, providing a way to ensure that a message has not been tampered with and was indeed sent by the claimed sender. Key exchange. Public key cryptography is also used in key exchange protocols such as the Diffie-Hellman key exchange to establish a shared key between two parties without the needing of a secure pre-existing channel. Now we'll learn more about key management. Secure storage. Private key must be securely stored to prevent unauthorized access. This is crucial because anybody with the private key can decrypt the message or forge digital signatures. Certificate authorities or CAs. In the context of SSL and TLS certificates, a certificate authority verifies the identity of an entity and issues a certificate containing the entity's public key. This helps users trust the authenticity of a public key. Now we will check out a diagram to see how the CAs actually work. For example, a web browser always tries to validate the certificate of the host name or the website that you're trying to visit to make sure that the certificate is valid. And if the certificate is valid, it is going to show you a green lock next to the search bar. Now we'll talk about the certificate authority in depth. A certificate authority (CA) is a trusted entity responsible for issuing digital certificates in public key infrastructure. CAs verify the authenticity of certificate requests using various methods such as domain ownership confirmation, legal entity validation, or other agreed upon processes. Once satisfied, the CA issues a digital certificate including a public key, which is used to establish secure communication and assure users of the website's legitimacy. For your reference, now you can see a certificate that belongs to Google. Now we'll take a look at the URL, that is Uniform Resource Locator, and see what all changes are there in the HTTP and HTTPS protocol. The only difference is that S character that you can see right now highlighted. On the right hand side, I'm requesting the google.com web page in an encrypted manner by using HTTPS protocol. Now we will see how the HTTP protocol works. Here we can see that the web client 1 is going to send an HTTP request to the web server and receive an HTTP response back. Now we will see the same example in the case of HTTPS. Here you can see that the HTTP request and HTTP response both are encrypted, unlike HTTP request and response. Alright hackers, that's a wrap for today's session. If you found value in this video, leave a like, share it with your fellow hackers, and comment below your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe for more content that will propel your hacking journey to new heights. Thank you for joining me today on HackProKP. I am Kailash Parshad, and until next time, happy hacking!